Good morning, New Vision Center. My name is Reverend Leslie, and I'm your Associate Minister, and I'm so delighted that it is my turn to share the message today. So, as you likely know, we are working on an annual theme of Every Path Leads Home. And we're still towards the beginning of the year, right? And so we're starting with this idea of making friends with what is now, with what is here, with where our life is, how we landed here, because it is from that space that we have solid ground from which to move forward. And as I was thinking about what is the most essential piece for me in walking forward in this path that leads to the center of my own beingness, to that place of divine truth in my own center that all of us have. Peace within is the thing that really came forward for me. And like our friend the coyote, I think many of us have tried a kind or two of meditation, maybe once or twice. A little Tai Chi. Little roadrunner chasing. We've tried some stuff. And what I have learned, and most days can remember, and on the days I cannot have y'all to remind me, is that peace lives inside, that there's no roadrunner to catch. It's already right here. If I can find it, if I can notice it. And if you're anything like me, and I suspect you are, at times I've thought things like, well, when everything calms down, I'll be peaceful. When everything works out, then I'll be calm, then I'll be chill. And oh, so surprising it was to me to find that it's the exact opposite. It's not when things calm down I will be at peace. It's when I find my peace, things will calm down. When I find my ability to be loving, I will see love in the world. When I find my way to be quiet, I will feel the quietude. If only there was a teaching and a path that could help me find my path to the center of my own being. I hear you thinking this. And conveniently, Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he wrote a lot of things, but he wrote this big fat book called The Science of Mind. And man, if you ever need to hit an intruder, it's a big, like, clunk. It's useful. But it has additional uses. You're weightlifting with it, squats. And there are words in it. Did you know? There are words in this book. There are 6 big sections. And the 6th section, the one that we don't get to unless a minister reminds us it's there, because it's real deep into a real big book, is meditations, is contemplative meditations that we can utilize in our life. And there's one particular one that has been very pivotal to my life. And this whole darn talk today, the whole talk, is about this one meditation that you probably have at your house, and if you do not, you can get it very easily. And it's called Peace, Poise, and Power. Now, when I wandered across this meditation 16 years ago, I thought, sure, there's peace, poise, and power within me right now. They haven't met me. They don't know. But you know what? I found that, in fact, there is peace, poise, and power within me. Bit by bit, moment by moment, practice by practice, I found it. So we're going to play with this meditation today. Are you in? Okay, so it's found on page 525 of your textbook. You're all going to remember that and rush right home. But when you look back at this message, because you can't find it, now it's in the recording. See how convenient that is? Those of you at home, I know you've already opened your textbook, such great students. I'm kidding. I know you haven't. We're good. So I'm going to take 3 phrases from this meditation. It's like a little one paragrapher, but I'm going to take 3 phrases and kind of break them down a little bit more. And then at the end, we're all going to do the meditation together. Sound lovely? Wonderful. So the first phrase I want to play with is actually the very first phrase of the meditation, where he writes, "Peace, poise, and power are within me, for they are the witnesses of the inner spirit of all truth, love, and wisdom." Isn't that a pretty phrase? Peace, poise, and power are within me, for they are the witnesses of the inner spirit of all truth, love, and wisdom. Peace, poise, and power. So when I first read this meditation, I thought those are all lovely words, and I really, really like those words, and they have nothing to do with each other. Peace, poise, and power, they're completely different parts of the way you show up in the world. How can they be related? And then interceding, 7 years, I had an awareness. We do love this. It helps me write these talks to have the occasional awareness. And it was peace, poise, and power are a progression of countenance. I hadn't realized. When we find our peace, it allows us to shift how we respond to things on the inside of ourselves so that we are more able to show up with poise, with equanimity, with unperturbability, with not being a jerk. Sometimes it's good to put them in shorter words. With a stability and an ability to move forward, giving grace to the people around us and to ourselves. Well, that feels like a lovely progression. And then I realized, well, when we're in that place of poise and gentle countenance, we're more grounded, we're more anchored, and from that place we are empowered. We're not reacting to what's happening in the moment because we have our poise. We're able to stand strong and firm and choose and be a place of peace and love. And it loops right back around at the beginning of the circle, where being empowered helps me find more peace, which gives me more poise, which allows me to be more empowered, which gives me more peace. And it's neat. And I'm a fan. Imagine what it's like. Imagine what it's like to have something happen that would normally cause me to lose my bleep. Whatever your bleep is and however you use it. Let yourself imagine. And then that moment comes when that thing happens, when your sister says the thing or the boss doesn't do the thing or whatever's the thing that sets you off, and you realize, that used to really make me lose my mind. And I'm mildly amused by it in this moment, and I don't feel like I need to go hit things or yell at people or go, form a little group in the parking lot to talk badly about the person who did or didn't do the thing. I mean, I've had that moment. Have you had that moment where all of a sudden the response you used to have just doesn't rise up? And that heat, that gnarly, gnawing feeling, that's really good English, doesn't rise up. Well, if that's not the definition of finding the beginning of inner peace, I don't know what is. Because living without that sense that something's gonna get me from the inside is the most joyful shift I've ever experienced in my life. Here's the thing, though. This phrase says peace, poise, and power are within me, not gonna be within me, not coming sometime, not you gotta go to the peace, poise, and power store and buy some, deliverable on Amazon, 24-hour Prime. No, it's already within me, right now, in the middle of the... That can be a tough sell, right? When the blood is boiling and the fangs have come out and the claws are ready to pounce on whoever did or didn't do the thing, to think, oh no, within me is peace. Within me is the infinitude of peace of the entire universe. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't feel that way when I feel that way. And so it becomes a bit of a faith walk. Do we believe, and you can set me straight, do we believe that infinite spirit lives in every being? Yes. Yeah. And do we believe that we are beings? Yeah. Uh-oh. Now we've backed ourselves into a logic corner, haven't we? Because if spirit lives in all beings and we are beings, I guess we got to have spirit in us. Do we believe, I'm so thankful that I have y'all to remind me what we believe. It's very helpful. Do we believe that we have to work hard to earn spirit in us? No. Do we believe that it is inherent and already true? Yes. Oh, so the peace is already in us? Yes. How do we find it? Good thing there's 2 more parts to this message. So it's inherent. It's inherent in the way that we're built of divine goodness, divine peace. It's in there in that, I always point to my heart chakra area because I feel like that's the heart space is where I sense my connection with the divine. You might feel it somewhere else. You might be a third eye feeler or a gut feeler. Go with whatever feels right to you. But that inner space where we feel the presence of the divine, that is where that peace lives within us. And so we take it to the next point I want to focus in on this meditation, which is, I am at peace within me, and all about responds to that great calm of the inner soul, which knows its rightful place in the all good. Oh, that's one of my favorite names for God, the all good. Feels like it wandered right out of the 1990s, doesn't it? It's all good. That's all good. Those are my years, man. I am at peace within me, and all about everything that I am and everything that I interact with responds to the great calm of the inner soul, that place within that knows its rightful place in the all good. So there's a part of me that knows that it knows that it knows that it knows that that peace is present and it's mine now. And it's true for all of us. How do we tap into that? Maybe we should check in with the coyote. He tried meditation, but he tried it once. Is one time trying meditation probably going to do it? No. Oh, if only it did. And it might for a minute. I mean, it feels good when you're doing it, right? But the meditation practice that is daily, substantial, spiritual practice is what allows us to hone in on the stillness. The stillness is where we find access to that inner calm, the quietude. Now, does it matter particularly what kind of meditation we do? I have one rule. Are you ready? You ready to take a note? The right meditation for you is the one you will actually do. Not the one that your minister or your other minister says is the right one. Not the one that Deepak Chopra says, this is the best one, he's awesome, do his meditations. And there are lots and lots of kinds. The one that is the right for you is the one you will actually do, because all of the meditation recordings and apps and books and lectures like this and posters and taglines and memes in the world will do us no good whatsoever if we leave them on the counter, which is where most of mine hang out, right? Nah. What we must do is actually do the meditation. If only Ernest Holmes talked about this for like 300 of the 600 pages. One of the things he said, and this is actually from the glossary, from the definition of meditation. Meditation is the practice that opens us to inner peace. It is the practice that transcends all theologies and allows us to directly experience universal spirit. It is the key. If the lock is, I don't know how to do it, And we all have those moments, right? I read these beautiful words and I believe them to an extent, and I don't know how to connect myself into that process. If that is the lock that feels like it's shutting us out of this mystical divine experience, the key is meditation. Every day, I'm not kidding. The questions I get at the door over there, that lovely door where I'll see you all in half an hour, is, are you serious when you think we should meditate every day? Yes. Really though? Yes. Do you do it though? Yes. Yes. Every day. For real. Because I can't get up here and tell y'all to do it if I'm not doing it. That would be out of integrity. And it is among the things that have changed my life, transformed my life. And I don't know a single daily meditator who tells a different tale. I'm not special, which is delightful in this job. Before you go in your whole mental journey of, no, Leslie, you're special, and like a sparkly unicorn. Yes, that's true. But I'm in no way unique on this journey. If we do daily substantial spiritual practice, if we choose to hone in on the stillness and seek truth within ourselves, guess what? Our lives change. It's inevitable. It's unstoppable. It's completely ununderstandable and completely lacking in need for understanding. It just is what happens. And how fun is that? We spend all of our lives trying to solve a mystery that was solved thousands and thousands of years ago and written down. All we need to do is sit down and shush. Perhaps not my strength, but I can and do it. So the third one I want to hone in on here is the phrase, power is born from within me. It passes into my experience without effort or labor. Power is born from within me and passes into my experience without effort or labor. So if we start seeking peace and come to understand that it's already within us, already provided, already anchored, and then we seek the stillness and find a way to so embody that peace that it begins to show up as poise. As we live in that peace, we start being able to let go of things like the need to control what other people do or think. Oh boy, does that free up a bunch of energy, y'all. Think, just let it wander through your mind how much energy you blow in a given day on stuff you can't affect anyway. How much psychological evaluation needs to happen on the phone call after the meeting with the friend from work who knows she said the thing. You know she said it. How much worry we waste energy on. Do we think worry actually changes what's going to happen? If anything, it just calls it in closer, the thing we don't want to happen. Imagine the freedom of your life and energy if you decided, I don't need to do that. I don't need to control how other people believe. I don't need to worry about what those people are saying. I don't need to. I can just be right here, right now. And how acting from that space is acting from poise. And then we realize that power is born from within me and passes into my experience without effort or labor. When we imagine that place of being so calm, we're able to show up with poise. Then when something must be done, does it feel empowered? It does. Now, some of us resist power. We resist the word power. We resist the idea of power as a divine quality because we're hearing it as power over other people, power to control, power to manipulate, power to force. Let's flip it. Let's let go of that idea and instead think of it as power to choose, power to become, power to express, power to expand. Being so grounded and so centered in the truth of our being that we are able to open up absolutely fully and take whatever step is necessary in a grounded and anchored and emboldened way. Peace and poise and power together become the trio that move us from the idea of a spiritual life into living and walking out a spiritual life so completely that, what does it say up here in the middle one? All about responds to the great calm. To know that you are someone that when you enter a room, your presence makes that room more loving, more kind, more inclusive, just because you're bringing your consciousness into the space. This is what we seek, to be a place where God shows up powerfully and palpably just because we are there. And we don't have to earn it. And we don't have to prove anything. We already are it. We simply must know it. And we're only truly in that place of divine power when nothing is forced, when nothing is efforted, when it is easeful. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be work to do. I've done some really beautiful, empowered work. It means it won't feel like I'm being forced to do it. It won't feel like we're trying to shove a square peg through a round hole. Instead, it will feel like even if that peg is heavy, it goes right elegantly into the spot for which it was designed because it is divinely ordained. So let us take a moment and close our eyes or soften our gaze to allow ourselves to land in that space where we turn our attention to the breath. And with each inhale, allow ourselves to come a little bit closer to the center of our own being. Nothing to do except be present now. Nowhere to be. We're already here. And with what we know now, we explore these words. Peace, poise, and power are within me, for they are the witnesses of the inner spirit of all truth, love, and wisdom. I am at peace within me, and all about responds to that great calm of the inner soul, which knows its rightful place in the all good. Power is born from within me and passes into my experience without effort or labor. I rest in security and peace, for the inner light shines forth and illumines the way. I rest in thee. And so I invite us to bring our awareness back into the physical space. And we open up into the invitation for this week and truly for all time. Whether we choose to explore this meditation or the meditations in section 6 of the Science of Mind text, or any meditation, I invite each one of us to really dig into this idea that finding the stillness, finding the quietude, is what sets us on this motion from peace into poise, into power, creating the self that is the truth of who we really are. This week and every week, court the silence. Let's anchor this in some prayer. How good it is to just allow ourselves to rest in this space that is the heart of the all good, where it is all love, all acceptance, all beauty, all wholeness. The peace that passes all understanding, to the degree that we no longer even feel the need to seek the answer to the question why, and instead simply open up to the loving flow of life as us. How good it is to know that any cause, any concern that was on our heart or mind as we came into this space, as we came into this online campus, that we can turn it over right here, right now, into that great wisdom that is in the heart of the stillness. That there is ever present and indwelling a power and a presence that is already the answer to any challenge that we could conceive of or encounter. And so we let the divine take our concerns. We allow the healing of heart and mind and body and soul. And it is so good to feel that burden lifted from us, knowing this is how it ought be. As Emma Curtis Hopkins says, there is good for each one of us. That is specifically for each one of us, and we ought to have it. It was made for us, so we are a yes for letting that goodness into our lives right here, right now. Feeling the expansion and the loving kindness. It is so delightful and good. So with a grateful heart, I just know this truth for each one of us as I release the word into the action of universal law and call it good. We claim it as we say, and so it is.